Now, look, breaking right now, Prince Harry is pushing ahead with what I believe is a deranged court case versus the publisher of the newspaper that I used to be the executive editor of.
Hey there, Royal Watchers. Got a doozy for you today. Prince Harry is back in the headlines, and this time it's over a lawsuit that's got the media buzzing. But not everyone's buying what he's selling. Today we're diving deep into Dan Wootton's fiery takedown of Harry and Meghan Markle over their legal battle against a British tabloid. Trust me, you don't want to miss this one. Stick around, hit that subscribe button, and let's get into it.
The Sun. So, the Duke is one of two remaining claimants that will pursue legal action against News Group newspapers after 39 others settled their case. So we now only have Prince Harry and Tom Watson, the former Deputy Labour leader, who is obsessed with the phone hacking story, who have opted to push on towards a trial scheduled for January 2025. Well, guess what? Brittany, editor of the Royal News Network, who's with me, I've got some news here because I've offered a witness statement to this trial. I'm one of the people who potentially will appear in court on behalf of News Group newspapers. And if it goes to court, Brittany, I'm very, very happy to do this because I believe this is a deranged campaign by Prince Harry. It's not anchored in any fact. It's all about revenge, and it's all about trying to embarrass his brother and his father, who did a deal for the good of the royal family. And I'm really interested by some of your analysis, actually, Brittany. Just before we come to you, I want to read out something that you posted, where you said it's clear that Prince Harry has an unhealthy obsession with the media. He believes that they are responsible for all the alleged wrongs in his life. Even if he wins this case or others, he will find that the victory is fleeting. His life will not get better. His wife will still not be happy. His press will still be bad. His family will still despise him.
So here's the deal. Prince Harry is suing News Group newspapers, the publisher of The Sun, over alleged phone hacking. Now, this scandal rocked British media years ago, but here's the kicker. 39 other claimants have already settled their cases. Harry and former Labour leader Tom Watson are the only ones still pushing forward. But why? Is this about justice, or something deeper, like revenge or a personal vendetta? Let me know in the comments what you think, but first, let's break this down.
His mother will still be dead. Nothing will change except maybe he can make enough in the settlement to pocket some cash after paying his lawyers. He'll only find peace if he accepts his failures, accepts the press for what it is now and what his delusions tell him they are, and move on. And goodness me, Brittany, you are so right. You are so right, because Harry, it's not the press that ruined your life. You ruined it yourself by deciding to treat your family, including your late grandmother, Queen Elizabeth II, like a piece of dirt. And that's why the public turned on you, Harry. It's nothing to do with the media. You were beloved in this country. Does he not remember the times when, even after the Nazi uniform scandal, he was the most popular royal, even more popular than the late Queen? Oh, sorry, Brittany, over to you. I'm so mad about this.
Oh, I mean, it's so crazy. I mean, at one point in one of the statements, and I can't remember which court case this was related to, he says he's slaying dragons.
Now, Dan Wootton didn't hold back. He called Harry's lawsuit a deranged campaign aimed at embarrassing his father, King Charles, and his brother, Prince William. According to Wootton, this isn't about justice. It's about dragging the royal family through the mud. And honestly, he's got a point. Even Harry's father reportedly tried to discourage him from pursuing this case, not to protect himself but to save Harry the stress. But as Wootton says, Harry seems determined to turn personal grievances into public spectacles.
And I don't know about you, but I think most kids grow out of trying to slay dragons by the time they're like 10. So this sort of delusion and this sort of obsession that he has with the media is just very, very concerning in some ways, because I truly do think if he wins this case, he believes that this will magically fix everything. And it's not. It's his decisions that have led him to the place where he is now. And even if he wins, nothing will really change. The press still are going to write their negative stories about him because he has become sort of this toxic figure, and they'll still continue to investigate the mistakes that he's made. And all the things surrounding his wife, none of that will get any better. And he's made decisions, I think, in his life based on, let's say, Meghan Markle or something like that, like not going to see his grandmother the day before she died because he had a free day that day.
Yes.
The only person he has to blame for not going is himself and his wife. But he like doesn't seem to understand any of that. He just constantly blames the press for everything. Every ill in his life seems to be an issue of the press. And I was reading again a little bit of Spare, doing some research in the last little pages. And I mean, so many of them are filled with just diatribes against the media. And I'm like, that's not really the problem. You've made errors in judgment. And until you accept that those were your mistake, nothing's going to change. He'll become just more bitter over time because he can't seem to accept that he is a critical, actually, even just basically, he is the responsible for everything in his life, essentially. Yes, the media plays a role. Yes, his family plays a role, but he has made all the decisions that have led him to this spot. And I think some of it is a manipulation of his wife as well. But this court case, people tried, his father in particular, tried to talk him out of it, not because.
No matter the cost. By the way, if you're enjoying this breakdown so far, don't forget to hit that like button. It helps the channel a ton. Let's talk about royal commentator Britney's take on all this, because it's a mic drop moment. She says Harry's obsession with the media is unhealthy, and that he's using it as a scapegoat for his own mistakes. She even points out how Harry's choices, like stepping back from royal duties, airing private family matters, and yes, even skipping a final visit to Queen Elizabeth, have all played a role in the backlash he's facing. The media didn't ruin Harry's life, his decisions did.
He wanted to prevent Harry from getting a win or something like that. But because it wasn't really useful, it was sort of pointless. So he's like, just don't do it. You'll cause yourself more strife. Just let things go. And Harry just seems to be unable to let things go to his own detriment. He might be out millions after this and nothing to show for it.
Oh, indeed. Indeed. And look, the thing is, Brittany, firstly, you're so right about the day before Queen Elizabeth II died. I knew she was in a very bad way. I went on national television at the top of my GB News show that night, and I said, Harry, stop what you're doing. Get to Balmoral. You will regret it if you don't. And he didn't. And shame on him. And no matter how he tries to frame what happened after the death in the pages of Spare, to pin the blame on Prince William for not picking him up in the royal plane, that is rubbish. He could have gone to Balmoral himself to see his grandmother. So he has to live with that. He also has to live with the fact that he made his grandmother's final months on Earth pretty miserable because of a completely false allegation of racism. So that's the first thing. The second thing, when it comes to the actual specific claims that he's making against the British media, I know for a fact, Brittany, that many of them are complete fantasy, complete delusion. Many of them are wrong. And this is a guy who has tried lawfare on me.
That's some food for thought, right? What do you think? Drop a comment below, and while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe for more takes like this. Here's where things get messy. Dan Wootton revealed that Harry's legal battle isn't just about phone hacking. It's also exposing private communications within the royal household. Emails, messages, you name it. And get this, one of the emails Harry is demanding access to belonged to Queen Elizabeth's former private secretary.
Before. He eventually gave up. But let me tell you, when he was trying lawfare against me, Brittany, the claim was full of lies. And they were lies that I could prove were lies. So what my point is that he is very often encouraged by his lawyers to pursue fantasies, to pursue delusions. Very, very often what he believes happened are a fairy tale. It is not the truth. And as I say, I've seen this happen. The third thing that I want to say is that I think it is disgusting that he is trying to impugn his father's reputation, not to mention his brother, but his father specifically, at a time that his father is battling cancer. So let me take you into this a little bit further, because as part of the latest legal ruling here, it has emerged that King Charles tried to prevent Harry from suing the son. Now, again, this is all revealed by Harry at the trial, where he has revealed that his father, quote, acted to discourage and stymie him from pursuing legal action. This was revealed by Mr. Justice Fancourt, but only revealed by the judge because he was quoting from a document filed by the Duke's legal team. And the judge has now granted Harry's legal team access to a cache of Buckingham Palace emails sent between two members of the royal household and specific senior executives at News Group newspapers.
Yes, you heard that right. Even his late grandmother isn't off limits in this crusade. This raises a huge question. Is Harry really seeking justice, or is this a personal mission to settle scores with his family? If you're as shocked by this as I was, share this video with a friend who's been following the royal drama.
And Brittany, while all of this is very technical, if I can just sum it up, that what Harry is trying to do is embarrass members of the royal family for doing a deal with the media. But the deal made sense. The deal was a peace deal. It was to say, yes, phone hacking happened. It was absolutely appalling. It was one of the worst chapters in Fleet Street history, but we have to move on. We've got to move on for the good of everyone, because it's very important that the British media has a positive relationship with the royal family. And what I find particularly disgusting is that one of the email addresses that Harry is demanding access to, Brittany, is Sir Christopher Gite, who was the private secretary to Queen Elizabeth II. So Harry doesn't even have a problem with trying to embarrass his grandmother beyond the grave.
I mean, it's absolutely despicable. I mean, this is just really a campaign of vengeance at the end of the day. And so he just wants to go on this fact-finding or fishing expedition, hoping to find something that he can go, here, I'm right. And I would say as well, shame on his lawyers for just continuing to fuel his delusions at this point, because they have to know at some ways that this is probably really not going to go anywhere. But they're like, well, we can just keep going and digging and digging. And what we find has happened with some of these court cases as well is that as documents come up, they become public, they become fodder for the front pages. This is what happened with Meghan's case. At the end of the day, she might have won, but did she really win in the realm of public opinion? No, because so many different things got out that actually went directly against her narrative, and she had to basically come out and admit that, well, she said she didn't know or forgot or something, but basically she had lied to the court about some missing emails and text messages. And so this case continues to go on. And it's just such an absolute shame that Harry is just trying to dig into his family and reveal things just to fulfill his own delusions, his own narcissism, his own vendetta, because he lives, I think, in a sea of regret in some ways regarding some of his decisions, but those are his decisions. And he keeps trying to, I think, force his family to believe something that they're like, Harry, you are delusional. Charles told him that in spare. Harry admitted, Charles told him, you're being delusional. And I think everybody has told him that at some point.
Let's zoom out for a second. This isn't just about Harry. It's about the monarchy as an institution. Charles and William settled their own cases years ago, choosing to prioritize the monarchy's stability over personal grievances. Harry, on the other hand, seems intent on airing every dirty laundry. As Dan Wootton puts it, this legal battle isn't just damaging Harry's reputation, it's chipping away at the monarchy itself. Whether you support Harry or not, it's clear that this saga is creating a ripple effect far beyond the courtroom. So where do we go from here? Is Harry justified in pursuing this case, or is this just another chapter in his personal vendetta? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I read every single one of them. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to hit that like button, share this video with your friends, and of course, don't forget to subscribe for more breakdowns of today's biggest stories. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.